wow, yo, yippee, yay, guys. Pile number 10, and I'm super excited to be with you guys today. As always, we're going to deep dive into the love of the community, then talk about how SwissBorg is growing on a daily basis. We're going to have a small touch about the thematics, talk about, of course, about what is happening with our beautiful opportunities in the DeFi space, talk about SwissBorg token and the share, understanding where the value is and what's the future of it. Of course, as always, my name is Cyrus Fuzel. I'm the proud founder and CEO of SwissBorg, always here to serve you. Question of the week, Perkula, and thank you for this question. And I think so. What are the plans to put the CHSB at the heart of the ecosystem? Thank you, Perkula, for this question. And I know a lot of people have been, asking a lot of different questions. Julian asks, Candoshan, and there's probably Atika. There's so many people that are asking these questions. How can we boost it? There has been some new things that have been added, like now opportunities. Not only it's based on the release of premiums, but the higher the premium tier you are, the higher the location you're able to actually invest into these different, essentially opportunities. So we're always constantly looking for new things. I would love to hear more thoughts, more advices here. Of course, everything that we try to bring into the app takes a lot of time to be built. So we definitely are trying to put more and more ways. And I think so next week or the following, I'm going to have a real big AMA session. I think so on this with Anthony and Alex and probably other people, and try to show the vision of how the SwissBorg token could have a huge, essentially, space into the decentralized world. Product update. We are bringing more opportunities to you guys and things that are committed on the long run. You asked in the time if would be crazy to stake to yield tokens for 1 year. Well, you know what? It's gonna happen with CAKE. CAKE, as you guys know, is from the BNB chain. One of the most interesting, I would say, decentralized exchange. Has really a great following, a great amount of essentially of different exchanges and yield on it. So you're going to be able to essentially get up to 40% APY, which is crazy when you think about it. And there's going to be one on 6 months and on 12 months. So it's really people for looking on the long run. What do I personally feel about CAKE? I think so. It's a good one. It's a secure one. The team has changed and has really, grown a lot of market shares into DeFi. So quite bullish there. Atom is going to be a nice one too. There's going to be a 90 period staking with no risk, or at least the most limited core risk, which is Atom, as you guys know, is a cross chain, a multiple chain that has really shown a lot of different utilities within the blockchain world, how to interconnect these different chains, things that have been with osmosis and other different protocols. And very, very excited about Autumn, and very excited about the fact that we'll be staking and getting up to 12.5% APY on this beautiful opportunity. I think so. This is a very, very important. And a lot of people have been asking, what's the difference between a share and a CHSB, and why one should buy shares, one should buy a CHSB, or potentially why people should buy both. Before getting into it, let's try to maybe separate this on 3 factors. The first one I'll say is on the legal aspect, because the investment, there's always a legal aspect to it. On a legal aspect, what you have with a share is that you have a piece of a company that is regulated, and that the fact that this share, following the law, enables you to have different rights. And it's as clear as that. On the other side, when you have a token, you have a piece of a network. You can't just you could change potential utilities of the token, for example, where you cannot do this on shares. It's as easy as that. Then let's now think about what are the utilities of a share, contrary to what's the utility of a token. A share essentially enables you, with a piece of that company, enables you to have 2 different rights. One is your vote. The second is essentially the ability to receive dividends. Okay? So this is something that should be very clear. SwissBorg token, you guys already know what is the nature of it. You could essentially vote, but then you could use it to buy your status within SwissBorg. That means you could get premium. With premium, you have different offers. We have the possibility to have lower fees, higher yields, to get better opportunities. There's a lot of different things that go with the premiums, right? And then there's a buyback, there's some burn, buyback and choose. We try to really make this as quite entertaining as possible and bring a lot of utility to the SwissBorg token. Now, in terms of risk, and this is something that's very important. A SwissBorg share and a SwissBorg token both have a great amount of risk. However, the share most likely has a bit less risk than the SwissBorg token. And why is that so? Not necessarily, by the way, just to make things clear. A share, what it does have is that it will always be enforceable by its nature. So whatever SwissBorg's direction is going to go, you'll always have a piece. Whereas tomorrow, essentially, a CHSB, if for whatever reason SwissBorg says, we all cut the SwissBorg token, it doesn't exist anymore, that's a possibility, which we'll never do, by the way, but just to make things clear, but that is doable. And well, the community and ourselves will just lose money and traction and love. And this will be a very bad decision, but legally it is possible. Another thing which is interesting in terms of investments, if someone invests in a share, he or she can get the full capture of SwissBorg, where the CHSB is not necessarily the whole full image, right? If we're starting, for example, with XBorg, there's no real link between CHSB and XBorg. There's no real link between SwissBorg, the CHSB, and hedge fund, for example. There's no link between a lot of different, essentially, products that we have from SwissBorg the CHSB to essentially different products. And that's something to be in consideration. Which I forgot just before in terms of risk. The other part why CHSB is less risky though from SwissBorg shares is that the liquidity, right? The SwissBorg token itself, the great thing it is that it has liquidity. You could buy it right now and you could probably sell it right after. The SwissBorg share is not the case. We're looking to many different ways to bring liquidity and be able to sell these different shares going forward. But as I said numerous times, we still don't have 100% clear roadmap, how we're going to do this legally, how we're going to push this in the product and all of that. So that's something as well to take in consideration. So what I think is that if you're a long-term investor, I think so it's great to have both, to be honest. If you're mid-term investor, it's probably very interested to have both. If you're a short-term investor, it's probably very important to just go into the CHSB. If you want to as well understand is that if you invest into SwissBorg share, there's probably less chance for you to be able to take profits from this action in the short run. So that's why you have to little think about the mid run and the long run. But as you guys know, chi va piano va sano va lontano. And I think so we all think about that is that wealth is not done over a day. Here, some people trade it very effectively and this is great, but we still have a longer term perspective, which I think so we all agree on that one. So this is a bit the difference that we have between shares and the SwissBorg token. CHSB, some data, as you guys know, a little bit more, 15% more premium than last week, 344, which is really good. Overall, we're still not at 200 million, so you can still put a date for this one if you're looking forward to get the 200 million question right for 2,000 CHSB, which is quite crazy when I think about it. We're still shy of 148,000, so not so much, which brings us to the community index. Cast your vote right away and see if we were over 7.4 of last week or a little bit less, a little bit up, a little bit less, up, down, and unfortunately we're down. Main reason is coming from the fact that we have had some little bit less app activity than last week and invitations fell a little bit. So it is what it is. And last but not least, be healthy, be wealthy, love our CHSB, and now our equity. Take care, guys. Bye.
Through SwissBorg, all assets will have a fiat gateway. And here is the thing.
Premium features gives you zero fee trading.
It's an amazing fiat gateway.